Okay, well, good morning, everyone. We have 15 minutes in this morning, and welcome to the history major session of the Experience CSUF via Titan event. I wanted to start with some introductions before we get started. We have a presentation planned for you today, and there's 5 of us here representing the history department. I'm Yasmin Rostam. I'm the chair of the history department, and I am joined by, I'm the chair and a professor of modern Middle East history, I should say. And I'm joined by Dr. Volker Janssen, who's the vice chair of the department and a faculty member, teaches US and California history. And then we are lucky to have 3 students joining us today. These are student leaders from the history program. Our first is Lila Rodriguez. She is the president of the History Student Association and a history major. She's a senior. And History Student Association, we also refer to as HSA. Janae Scott is here as well. She's the vice president of HSA and a senior as well, history major. And then finally, we have Emmanuel Ayala, who got his bachelor's in history just last year and is now a student in our master's program. And he is the president of Phi Alpha Theta, which is a National History Honor Society. He's the president of our Cal State Fullerton chapter. So we've prepared a presentation for you all today, and we will move forward without further ado. But the topics we hope to hit on today are, of course, introducing you to the history program and the major in our curriculum and our faculty, as well as our extracurricular and co-curricular activities, among other things. So without further ado, Dr. Janssen will continue.
Well, you have met 2 of your faculty here right now. There will be many more, and maybe you've had a chance to watch the brief video introducing our colleagues to you. The important thing is for you to remember that we teach fun courses. Certainly we think that they're fun. We hope that you will find them fun, but we also do more. We are serving as your advisors when it comes to your choice of courses. When it comes to your preparation for a job as a teacher, a lot of you, I'm sure, are hoping or planning to become history teachers, but we also are willing and happy to advise you on other career paths. We are there to advise and guide you in your choice of internships. And then finally, when it comes to your further academic development, we also serve as your mentors. So here, make sure that you remember to draw on us as experts in your particular fields of interest. We are the people that can then recommend you and further your career path in future MA or PhD programs, even if that is where you want to head. Jasmine.
Thank you. All right, so we have a 45-unit history major. I just wanted to walk you briefly through the requirements in our major and the coursework, and then some examples of the kinds of courses we're teaching in an upcoming semester, so you have a sense of our curriculum and offerings. So as I said, we have a 45-unit history major. And that is divided up into lower division coursework in US and world history, 12 units, 4 courses. We have an intermediate category of courses, 300 A and B, as you see here, that introduce students to historical thinking, methods, upper division research, and writing. And the 18 units that follow are divided into geographical areas that are in 4 different categories: US history, European, world comparative, and non-West, which includes a lot of regions of the world: Asia, Latin America, Middle East, Africa. Here in that section of the major, we're emphasizing breadth and we ask you to select 3 areas among these 4 categories to concentrate in. And then we ask you to take 2 more courses, upper division history, and we call those electives. That's in addition to the 18 units of geographical area coursework. And then in your final year, your senior year, you'll take a capstone research course where you will design a research project on a topic of your choosing in consultation with your faculty member, faculty teaching that course. So this is an overview of the major, give you an idea of how we structure it. And this slide gives you an idea of the kinds of course offerings that are available in the fall, for example, at the upper division level. And so you can see here, I'm not going to read through this, but you can see that we really cover the world and we cover various eras of the past, from early Greece and Roman times to contemporary periods, from Middle East history to Latin American and to modern Germany. So, and some thematic, more applied courses that we'll talk a little bit more about in historical methods like oral history and public history and digital history. So here we are. This is what makes us unique as a department, or the kinds of courses that we offer. Okay, Dr. Young.
So as Professor Rostam explained, we have different sets of courses. There are the foundational skills and concepts courses that everybody has to take. Then there is a whole range of topical courses that covers the geographic span. But we also want to prepare you for work after your degree. And so applied courses are especially important to us because we don't want to think of you simply as vessels in which we pour our knowledge. There's no benefit in you walking around as so-called walking encyclopedias. No one needs a walking encyclopedia. We want you to be able to do things. So the digital history course will prepare you in your ability to work with digital content and work in digital archives and special collections, and in the private sector in the creation of historical sites online. In the field of public and oral history, we prepare you to work in the field of public history, which actually offers a wide range of employment opportunities, both in the public and the private sector. A course in history and editing is a fundamental preparation for working in the publishing field, but also professionalizes and matures you as a writer and reader. And internships, of course, give you these insights into different career paths. We have over 50 internship sites that we partner with right now, and the numbers of internship sites that we work with are growing every year. In addition to that, we encourage you to look at our colleges study abroad programs, which are often hosted and organized by history faculty, whether that's Berlin, Vietnam, or Rome. Now, there are a set of skills that we want you to walk away with. This is why I pointed out the applied history courses. And that again stresses the fact that you really shouldn't think of a history major anywhere as simply an amassing of historical facts so that you can walk around just knowing things. We want you to be able to do things. We want you to be able to communicate effectively in the written word and verbally, orally. We want you to be able to think critically, a term that is thrown around regularly, but doesn't necessarily always mean that we understand what that means. We will teach you what critical thinking means. We also make you work in teams, because there is no place where you will head as a professional where you will not be required to work in a team. We add to that your ability to solve problems, to plan, organize, to process and obtain information. Research skills are important in every field of employment as you head out of the door here at Cal State Fullerton. And ultimately, it is the management of quantified and quantitative data and the writing and editing of concise reports. When it comes to the careers that our students are engaging in, we have a ton. Our alumni are working in over 100 different jobs and occupations. And we have a rich website online that shows you how you can prepare for careers with a history major that go beyond teaching history. And so we encourage you to look at our webpage, at our sites, and our materials that prepare you for a wide variety of jobs that you can pursue with a history degree, because there is, in fact, a strong demand for the kind of skills and the bodies of knowledge that you acquire with us.
We also wanted to let you know that we are blessed to offer a number of different scholarships and fellowships and awards to our students, our majors, and both our undergraduate and graduate students, in fact. And a number of them are here, and this list is not exhaustive. There are a few more that we offer that are not on here, but these are some of the main sources of support we offer students. These are competitive scholarships, fellowships, awards, and we are happy to support our students in this way. The book fund, right, or research-based awards, so that could take you to travel to a conference or do research in an out-of-state archive. So this is an important part of how we support our students while they're here, and support their research and providing experiences for them as well. Okay, then the last slide I wanted to show was, or speak to rather, is the minor. Some of you in attendance maybe are interested more in the minor than a history major at Cal State Fullerton. And if so, we do have a minor, and it is, it's a 15-unit minor, and it can fit and can pair quite well with any major without extending one's graduation. And here's what it is. So we have more information, of course, about our major and our minor on our website, but I did want to let you know that this is an option for anyone who's interested in pairing history with a major. And of course, you can certainly double major history and another major as well. That's an option. So we're going to move on now to hear from our student leaders, and I will hand it over to Janae and Lila.
Thank you, Dr. Rostam and Dr. Janssen. Hi, everybody. My name is Lila, and my pronouns are she, her, hers, as Dr. Rostam had mentioned previously. And I'm here with my vice chair and treasurer from the History Student Association. And we just wanted to give you, first of all, a warm welcome because this is, you becoming a Titan, and we wanted to first of all congratulate you for really taking a big step if you were interested in the history degree. But with that said, we wanted to hopefully entice you to join our club, which will hopefully be taking place a little bit more in person the following semester, because there are a lot of different opportunities that we wanted to share that we could offer that will help you enhance your undergraduate careers. So next slide, please.
So here's a little about us. Here's our mission statement. I'll just kind of summarize it a bit. So pretty much what we aim to do is talk about history from different perspectives. Usually how we learn about history, we kind of focus on like the victor's perspective. So that's something that we wanted to encourage in our club. We did want to create an open space for students to just talk to people, kind of build a community around history, and it is open to all majors. It is not only limited to history. And we want to have cultural awareness. And further into the slideshow, we will talk about some of the past meetings that we had, so you guys could kind of get a feel of what we discuss.
So here's the current team that we have for this semester. that, as I mentioned, that you can see myself over on the far left. Next to me is Janae, who is currently with us today. She's our vice chair and ICC representative as well. Next to her is Lizette Reynoso, the pronouns are she, her, and she is our marketing coordinator and social chair. So she's in charge of making everything look really pretty in our social media and in our flyers as well. To the right is going to be Mireya Miroy, the pronouns are she, her as well. And she is our communications chair. So she is really our liaison between the organization and the history department as well as our other history majors. She really puts out information on our newsletter so that students can gain access to things that are going on within the history community, as well as different opportunities for history students. And lastly, over to the far right, we have Javier Arauz, and he is, his pronouns are he, him as well. And he is our communications chair intern. And we'll be talking a little bit more about the intern position that we have.
And our advisor, excuse me, my voice. Okay, our advisor is Dr. Rostam. So I'm pretty sure you guys already know. I'll go ahead and do the slide too. So what makes us stand out, like I mentioned before, we do kind of talk about history in all different perspectives. That's something that is kind of our leading point. We did want to have an open and welcoming environment. So we do only have monthly meetings because with the pandemic going on, it is very difficult to manage schedules at times, especially doing an online environment type learning. So we did limit it to only one meeting per month. So it's really flexible. We do have an open mic night every semester. So members have an open platform to talk about something that they are passionate about. And we do help in professional development. One of our past meetings, we did talk about CVs, which is something that we all need. So, and we also do unique concepts. So one of our past meetings, we talked about women's history, African-American history for African-American History Month, as well as Women's History Month. One of our meetings coming up, we are talking about Stonewall, and that is our open mic night as well. Next slide, thank you.
So just as Janae was talking about right now, we have had a few different past events, and this is a picture of our calendar for what this semester looks like. So as you can see, we've had different events, and the main focus of this History Student Association is really focusing on contemporary history again, and with an emphasis on the history of ethnic minorities or cultural history specifically. And with that, some of the things that you will gain from our events are, continuing to learn about history, as well as gaining exclusive access to the newsletters that I had mentioned earlier, where you can gain more insight to leadership and professional development opportunities. Another great thing that has come from the History Student Association is that you're able to meet other peers, especially in the virtual or for the next semester, a hybrid environment. It's also a really nice thing to have, really just a sense of community. It's an opportunity that you gain while you're engaging with HSA or really any other student organization, such as the work that Pat also does. And lastly, I did want to share that some of the things that we will be having hopefully in person. Typically online, what we have been doing in order to give back to our members is offering e-gift cards for different businesses, but in person we will be hopefully also being able to offer food once again. So fingers crossed for that to happen. But thank you.
Okay, so if you are interested in joining, like I mentioned before, anyone can join. It is open to all members. It's not only limited to history students, and applications will open for fall 2021. And you can find us on our Titan link or our social media, which that'll be later in the slideshow. And oh yeah, go ahead, that's fine, yeah.
Okay. And with that said, if you are interested in joining, we will be actually having some EBoard nominations for this upcoming, for the fall 2020 and the following school year. So EBoard is really the executive board, and that's kind of the work that myself, Janae, and our officers do, which is really do all the organization behind the scenes and prepare all of these different events, both coordinate not only with other students, but faculty and staff as well. So if you're interested in this type of work and you're interested in getting your feet wet, by joining an EBoard position or a leadership position, I think that this would be a great opportunity. And we're currently accepting nominations through HSA. Again, you can nominate yourself or somebody else for an EBoard position. We will be accepting nominations for our next EBoard, or our next meeting, which will be April 23rd. May 7th is going to be our last meeting, and that's going to be the date when we vote in the fall 2021, spring 2022 EBoard. But again, if you would like to nominate yourself, you can. We'll provide our HSA Gmail towards the end of the slide, if anybody's interested.
And if you don't have any leadership experience, that is no problem. I'm sorry, my voice. We do offer internship positions. One of our board members, Javier, he is an intern. He's for the communications chair, and it'll be a good way to kind of get your feet wet. If you don't really want to make that commitment yet, this will be a good opportunity for you to kind of just see what the EBoard position is about. And yeah, go ahead, Dr. Austin.
Thank you. And just before we kind of move on to the next thing, we did want to share that our next meeting will be determined within the upcoming within the next few months, as the date is to be determined. It will be posted on our Facebook, Instagram, and all of our social media. So you can find us at Facebook at the History Student Association, on Instagram as HSA_CSUF, and on Twitter as HSA_CSUF as well. So please feel free to stay connected with us. And if you are interested in getting to know not only us but also the members as well for the History Student Association, we do have some options right here, and I can put them in the chat as well. But if you're interested in joining our group, we do have the QR code for you here. But again, I will put both the group link as well as the Discord link to join in the chat. But with that said, we did want to say once again, thank you so much, and a big congratulations to you all. Welcome to California State University, Fullerton, as that's its full name. If you have any questions for us, please feel free to reach out to us through any of our social media or our email, which is going to be hsacsus@gmail.com. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Janae and Lila. And Manuel, you're up.
Thank you, Dr. Rossman and Dr. Jansen. Hey, everyone. My name is Emmanuel. Pronouns are he, him, his. And welcome to today's Experience CSUF event. I wanted to take a little bit of your time to talk about our organization here in the History Department that I'm a representative of, called Phi Alpha Theta, or PAT for short. This includes a brief background on it, some of the club's goals, its benefits, and the types of events we host. So going for this slide, to start off, we wanted to note that it is a chapter from a larger organization that originated in the University of Arkansas in the 1920s, which came about with the intention to encourage the study of history and to recognize its excellence in the field. It is these tenets that we hope to replicate here in Fullerton. Our chapter, which is also called the Theta Pi chapter, was established in 1962 and has gained prestige from the onset from the local academic realm, and that it has included key members such as Bill Langsdorff and Lawrence DeGraff. Langsdorff being one of the founding presidents of CSUF, and DeGraff being a well-recognized historian from the department for many years. If you have visited the campus before, you may recognize their names in some of the buildings, such as Langsdorff Hall and the Lawrence DeGraff Center for Oral and Public History. We also wanted to point out that our members help out in the composition of the student journal, the Wellebethan, which publishes brilliant essays, editions, and reviews by some of our history students, which has won numerous awards and beating out schools such as Harvard, Princeton, and Stanford. We've had for the longest time, a consecutive record of winning numerous awards, which can tell you a little bit about our success. And then going on to the next slide, yes. In terms of our goals that we have applied from the national organization, as a honor society and club, we seek to promote these 4 beliefs of history academia, which are research, teaching, publication, and exchange of ideas. And we exercise these by first, bringing cohesion between students and faculty together through a range of scholarly and social venues. This allows for more networking opportunities and building greater connections with those that you might see in your future classes. We have events in mind in which we have the opportunity for students to converse with faculty members about the research projects or other things that relate to academia. We also help to build career development skills with practice on networking, community planning, and interpersonal communication with the club's board that you can join as well, and also from the events that we host. We also as Pat, we highly focus on encouraging participating in both regional and national history conferences. We do this by offering exclusive club scholarships and reimbursement of travel fees to Pat members, should they want to go to, should they want the grand opportunity to share and present their work to the greater public, and climb a bigger step in becoming an established scholar. The next goal of the club is to promote different career opportunities for not just Pat members, but for all history majors as well, who sometimes face the question of what they would like to do with a degree, when sometimes the popular notion of following a teaching route is not for them. And this will, trying to answer this, we have an event that answers this that I will present in the next slide. So yeah. So in this slide, I wanted to provide an overview of some of the events Pat has held in the past, present, and in the future, which particularly focus on providing academic and social events that will benefit Pat members and history majors in general. These include hosting and traveling to academic conferences, as I mentioned, hosting workshops that help career development skills, such as helping on writing history papers, how to present and conferences, as well as writing resumes and CVs. Also, we have our Things to Do with a History Degree speaker series, in which we invite people with extraordinary, inspiring, and unique career pathways with a history degree that talk to students about their careers and the skills that they learn with acquiring their degree. This spring, we had Onika Asamoah Cesar, a CSUF alumni and Pat member as well, who was known for founding the Fulton Street Bookstore and Coffee, which was a bookstore that has gained recent coverage and news about how it has helped teach Black history and community development in the region, with the power of books. Another Pat event in mind is that we have our Looking at Race Through History forums, in which are essentially student forums in which we historically examine the voices of different communities through a different range of venues. These include reading some chapters, articles, listening to some songs, and watching documentaries about and having a discussion about them. Then next slide, please. And then getting closer to the end of my presentation, I wanted to note that to join PATS, as it is more academic oriented, there are some requirements needed. This includes filling out a membership application, as you can see from the slide. And for undergraduates, perhaps for many of you that are planning to be, you'll need at least 12 units of CSU history courses, 6 of them being upper division with a minimum of 3.0 GPA. In those courses, but for example, if one is close to the GPA threshold of 3.0, that can be waived with a better recommendation from a faculty member. And it's similar requirements with those that will be graduate students. And then next slide, please. Yes, and finally, here's our contact information and social media handles, in which we provide more information about resources for PAT members and history members in general. Feel free to follow us. And then in joining Phi Alpha Theta, you get to be part of the high standing of the chapter and organization, exercise and improve upon your academic skills, create meaningful connections with other members and faculty, and participate in wonderful events. And that concludes the presentation of Phi Alpha Theta. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Well, that I think concludes our session, our history major session. If you have any questions after today, you can reach Dr. Janssen and I, visit the History Department website. If you have questions for our student leaders, they've provided their information. We congratulate you on your acceptance to Cal State Fullerton, and we hope you'll join us in the fall. Thank you.